Hey everyone, welcome to Behind the Streams. I'm Rini and I'm actually here by myself this week. um, we are going to be going into a deep dive into Trello, which, if you are an organizational nerd like me, this show is exactly like your cup of tea. This is exactly what you're going to love. So let's just go ahead and get straight into this. Um, So Trello, if you're familiar with it, go ahead and just do the little streamer 5 hi. Let us know who uses this because it is a super cool tool. Um, what is Trello? It is a Kanban system used to help organize your workflow. And so think of it like your post-it note board where you can kind of just see where everything is. It's a great tool for people who need to have like visual organization. Um, I love it. It is one of the top free tools, which I'm going to point out again. Trello is free to use. I mean, there are limited uses for the free tier, but you can do so much with that free tier. Um, and so it is one of the most popular things out there right now for organization for teams. What is Kanban? Kanban is actually something that was developed by Toyota, which I thought was like, wow, I didn't realize this was like I knew it was had to do with production and whatnot, but it was manufacturing. And so this tool, Kanban, is used for seeing the actual process of things. So you have your to-do list, things that you are currently doing, things that are done, and you just move things along. So you can actually think of it as like actually physically lifting that post-it note up and moving it to the next categories. So, sorry, I have a distracting cat in the background digging in things she's not supposed to dig in. Why, as a streamer, would you need to use Trello for yourself or for your mod team? This is very useful, especially if you're on teams like StreamerSquare, where you're going to organize a variety of show topics, or if you're a variety streamer or you do events or whatnot. This is a good way to sort of plan out your calendar. If you have your mod team in there as well, you can have all of your documents in there. It's also really cool. We're going to show an example later on in the show of how you can use this. How you can use this for creating emotes and graphics, and how you can use this to work with other creatives to get your work done. So let's go ahead and begin our walkthrough of Trello. So here we have the nice little homepage of Trello. When you log into your account, so just Trello.com, you'll be able to create your account. This allows me to see my profile. I can put a bio in there. I can see which different teams I'm a member of, things that I've done recently. You can see cards I'm a part of, and all my settings. Notification frequency is something important to change. Desktop notifications is also good. Deciding to opt into marketing emails, it's nice that you get to decide to opt in rather than opt out. So I do that. There's also colorblind friendly mode, which is nice. And then Trello Gold, which is if you you don't actually have to pay for Trello Gold. Anyone who joins based off of your recommendation links will give you a free month of Trello Gold. And as you can see, a lot of my friends have given me Trello Gold, which is kind of nice. So instead of getting billed for it, I don't have to worry about that. So we are actually going to go ahead and go back to the home page. These are just like it's like an activity feed. It might have a dark mode. I have not actually gone far enough to find dark mode because I use this as a desktop and I don't actually go into my home feed very often. I go straight to boards, which is still pretty bright. and this is where I live, so I can see all the different boards I'm a part of. So I can see things that I have starred, which that will kind of make it a highlighted one. Things that I've recently gone in, my personal boards, and then the teams that I'm a part of. So for today, right now, we're going to create a new board just so you guys can kind of get an idea of how we're doing that. So it's going to ask me for a board title. So this is going to be live show test. The team, we're going to put it to no team because it's going to be a personal board. Personal boards, there's no limit. You can have as many as you want. For a free team tier, you get to have 10. And so then I can choose whether this is private, so only people who are a member of this board can do it, or public. There are pros and cons to doing either. Most of the time, you will want this to be private just for your team. The times that you would want this to be public is if you are working on something, say a new application, and you want your followers or the fans of this application, or you're developing a game and you want them to know where you are in that game. So you can actually have a public timeline for that game development. But since this is just going to be our pretend, this is for our streamers, it's going to be private. And then it has a few options for backgrounds and stuff. You can choose more. I'm going to pick this nice little deserty one. You can also start with a template as well, which we'll go through some of those, and to create a board. So before we do that, I'm going to pop open the templates really quick so we can see what they're doing. Sorry, I had to peek around my microphone to do some of these things. Most of these are going to be business-related, engineering, education, project management. So there's not going to be a whole lot that you're going to see as a streamer that's going to be like, yes, this is exactly what I want. But it does allow you to kind of see what you can do with this. So there are ones by team, like Team Trello. There are other ones. So if you have weekly meetings, you can use their weekly meeting one, and it'll show you exactly what this is going to look like. So template, previous meeting, current meeting, other meetings. But we don't really need to use that for now, so we're just going to create our own board. Like I said, there's a whole plethora of different templates that you can use. Most of them are going to be very business, production, manufacturing related, not actually something that you're going to need as a streamer. I do want to poke really quick, Morag. It looks like the camera overlays are a little... Okay, so we got that. We're going to work on that. Okay, so when you first create your board, it's going to look like this. You have your About This board where you can change things up. You can add a description. This is our test board. So we'll save that. I have my profile. I can change what the members can do. Members can comment on cards. Team can add and remove members, add and remove permissions. No one can comment. So that's something that you can change too, depending on what the level of this is. Most of the time, though, if you're having your mod team use this, it's nice to let them comment as well as create things. If you have a team one, you can have it so members and observers can comment, or your team members can all comment and react. This also allows you to change the team. You can change your background, which you can just do solid colors. There's a whole bunch of photos you can pick from. So maybe I didn't like this one and I'd rather have a nice little forest scene. Or I can just type in something like swords. And it's going to give me things that somewhat relate that are tagged properly with that. So you can search quite a bit of things. I don't tend to use stickers very much because I feel like they use too much space, but stickers are an option that you can use. And then you have your settings, archived items, email board settings, like all this stuff. The main thing you need to know for this is labels. Labels are great. I use them a lot of times to denote the difference between whether this is something for a specific team, whether this is something that is urgent, or whether or not this is like a documents file that can just stay there. So we're going to label this one as host team. Do the bright red as urgent. And then blue will be documents. And you don't have to keep all the other ones here. Since I'm not going to use these other colors right now, I can just delete them and keep things cleaner, which is really nice. One of the reasons like this was made is because it was kind of an alternative to doing things like Scrum and whatnot, which Scrum is actually a really popular way of doing production. I don't know that much about it personally. I just know that a lot of like web developers and app developers use those. So now that I have this, I can actually go through, and when I get to my board, I can start building things out. So your main page is going to look pretty empty right now. It'll have your title, whether or not you want to star this, whether it's a personal board or a team board. If it's a team board, it'll tell you which team it's a part of, whether it's private or public, and then who the team members are. So that's all going to be up at the top. And then you'll see add a list. And so for this, our first list is going to be, in this setting, we're going to use this sort of like a massive list tool rather than the to-do, done, whatever. This is one of my favorite ways of using Trello, is just to make it a master list thing. So this is going to be main show assets. And then we'll have something like guest information. Then we'll do show topics. And finally, we'll have something like mod information and marketing. So these are all ones that you could do. Like if you're doing other things like special events or giveaways, you could do those. You can have lists go as long as you want, like horizontally. And then from there, you'll be able to build out cards. And so each card, you just give it a title. So this is going to be basic mod commands. Pretty simple. Now in this, I can click this little pencil tool, and that'll let me change the labels, change the members, move it, copy it, change the due date, or I can archive it, which is just, hey, we're not going to use this anymore. It's done or whatever. We just want to clear it up so it's not seen. And so that's been pretty nice. So I have my labels here. I can create a new label. I can enable the colorblind friendly mode. This can be basic commands. I'm going to call this a document for now. And then when I open up my card, I can see everything here from the title, what list it's in, what labels it has. I can give it a description with formatting, which is really nice. So it tells you how to actually do formatting for this. And then this will be the activity feed. So anything that's happened in this card will be listed here. And I'm getting asked as well, can this be automated? Yes, we're going to get into the Butler system really quickly after I kind of show off the basic parts of the tools. Over here to the right part of it, you'll be able to add the members, change labels, add a checklist. So the checklist we're going to do is pre-show bot changes. Guest and title, giveaway, different things like that. So you can choose what you want to have done, and then you can choose to, once you do them, it shows you a nice little progress bar of how well you've been doing on this and whether or not you want to hide the complete items or not. So let's say we've done just 2 of these. When I exit out of this, you can see that there's a task here and we've done 1 of 3 of them. which is really nice. If I added myself as a member, you can see that I'm a member here. And so you can attach things, you can give it a due date. We'll give it a due date of tomorrow with no reminders, because I don't need a reminder yet. It'll tell you that it's due soon. This will also allow you to change things if you like to. Now we're going to also do, so this you can actually see by the yellow date in here that it is due soon, and those will be color coded as well. So if we want to have things automated, the Butler system allows you to do all sorts of automated things. And so they're not actually giving me any, like, here's what automated things you could do to this board, just because this board hasn't really done much. But you can choose to have different rules. And so when it automatically does something, it will do something else. So when a card is moved to done by anyone, the due date will be marked as complete, and they'll remove all the members is one of the options it gives you. When a particular member is added to it, you can set the due date to X many days away, and it'll add a comment to it. So it's really kind of cool, the things that you can do for this. There's different calendar systems, different board buttons. The Butler system really is cool to do automated things within Trello. And so this is just one way of doing Trello as far as just having all of these big lists. One of the things that I want to show is one that I've had a template kind of made already. So we're going to go to my boards, and we are going to go to the Bts Stream Template really quick. So this is one that I made before the show. And as you can see, this is one that kind of has a nice visual appeal to it. One of the things I like doing is creating covers for all of my lists. This is something that, like, I think is a must. That way, because you have the titles here, but this kind of gives you like quick visuals of everything. And so this is easy to do. You can even just attach the cover image, and then it'll go to it, or there is going to be a button when I create a card. This is test and cover. So I can select cover images, or I can upload one. I actually have some here, so I could do more if I wanted to, so I can pick the success one again. It uploads it. I can choose how I want it to display, which is really kind of cool. And I can also choose to remove. I can comment on these, so it's going to have all this extra stuff put in there. This is a cool cover. So my comment goes on there. That whole formatted text goes away instantly. As you can see, it just links straight to that image. And so this is something that's easy to do, and it's there. You can see the title is going to be over it, so it's a different way of doing these two different titles. Since we don't actually need this one, I'm going to do the archive. And as you can see, whoop, magically disappeared. One of the things that I really like doing is, and that I've done for other Trello boards that I've managed, is instead of having all of these be the same color with the same text, keep the fonts the same. That way it is consistent and everything visually flows, but you can have different colors. So instead of having all of these green, I can have some of them be color-coded. That way it's a little bit easier to find. Make sure that when you're doing this, the color of your text and the color of the background are ones that are easy to see. You might want to have it also click through some colorblind test things. That way the colors aren't too close. There needs to be enough contrast between them so you can actually read them. But like this in progress, I could have done that as a yellow and said that we know that like this is something that needs to be worked on. Here in my info and assets, which is one of my favorite things, I always have a list of things that are just permanent files that sometimes we'll just link to things that are in Google Docs. This is an easy way to kind of have like a card catalog of things that you and your mod or your teams might be doing. So in the main one, I would have basic show information. So behind the streams, co-creators. And this, like I said, we can format it. So we're going to make this bold really quick. It's pretty simple, just 2 asterisks to make bold, 1 asterisk to make italic, which is the same thing that we do over in Discord. And then the show time, I'm going to do in italics. And then when I save it, now we have our nice formatting. Already attached is going to be that cover. And then there's everything here as far as like the comments and activity. I like to have one, I just grab a screenshot of my labels and I make that its own card as well. This way you can actually see what these labels mean, because as you can see, it's just going to be a colored bar, which when I hover over it, it will tell me, but it's nice to have that visual of, okay, this is what it means. So yeah, having that legend key is like just that little added niceness. I have our overlays, thumbnails, which this would normally just be a link to a zipped file, because all of our thumbnails that we do for Twitter and whatnot, like that becomes a pretty large Photoshop file for us. So it's not actually saved in this. And then I have our host. So we need to have information on Wes. So to get his headshot in here, I can go through a number of different things. I'm going to go to my computer because I know I have it saved. It's not going to be saved in the best space. I can tell you that because I know I saved it earlier. And you're going to see all of my gross stuff to like, oh, you guys actually don't get to see it, which is great. Searching for a picture. If I can't find Wes's picture, I will just use the next best thing. I think I found Wes. Please say this is Wes. This is Wes! Haha! Don't save your files by images, because if you look at this file name, that's gross. Don't do that. Don't do that. Save things with like proper file names. So look, we have Wes. It became a nice cover image as well. So the first thing, or your latest attachment, if it's an image or whatnot, will become your cover image. And so I can also take all of this and we can make this a template. So this is going to be our new template for editing our editing our host information. So I'm going to create a card from template, and I can choose to keep the attachment. I don't need that. So this is going to be host template, and it's going to stay in stream info. So I create the card. So I have this. I can change this and just get rid of that basic information I already put in there about Wes. And this is just simple things to do. And then once that's saved like that, all I have to do is then make this one a template. And so remove the template from Wes's first one, and now I have a host template that is just a nice blank template that I can use. I also have the same for our show titles. So all I have to do is create a card from the template. I have our host information, guest information, show descriptions, and that nice checklist of things that I need to know before the show are all in there completely. And so like when I add things in there, it doesn't change the main template. The Trello workshop, when it's in progress now, that was done. I'm able to have my display overlays put in here and comments, see what is done as far as planning. And let's say I wanted to add someone to this. So I'm going to add Dylan to this one. So Dylan is now working on this one with me. And so now we can see both of us, he would have this put into his alerts, and it's great. When we're done with this one, it's so simple. See, you can click, drag, click, and drag. And we mark it as a success. It's considered done. If it had a due date on it, let's put it back into here. And since this is a template card, I need to turn the template off. Okay, so now this template's, now this is created from the template. We're going to put the due date as now. Save. It's overdue. So move it here, mark that here, click that it's complete, and we did it. We did our show. Are there any questions that we currently have on things that I've shown for using Trello, for the board layouts, for finding anything for automation? Yeah, the drag and drop is really great. And you can do that with your images and files too. So if I had another folder open, I could just pick it up and drop it in there. I could also take my lists and rearrange them, click and drop. It's a really nice visual tool that, like I said, works exactly like if you had a board on your wall and you wanted to just have Post-it notes and you're going to move your individual Post-it notes. Can you export things? There should be a way, yeah, print and export. So I can, if I upgrade my account, I can export this as a CSV, or I can export as JSON. Or I can print this and it would print as a PDF is the option that it's giving me. I will say that it's automatically doesn't show the backgrounds. I can choose to have it have the backgrounds on there. I don't recommend. This is, if you're gonna print it and whatnot, it's not formatting the best way for printing. It's just, I wouldn't export it that way. And this template is as well, if you do ! template in chat, you can actually go and see this template live. And so this is something that if you want to go and play with it yourself, and if it's something that you want to kind of like copy and see a little bit, you can do that. And reporting tasks to see if they were completed on time or late. There might be something in the Butler system, potentially. Yeah, it's not showing me. I know that's something you can do in ClickUp. I have not seen that in Trello. Trello is just kind of a nice basic tool, but I have not seen that here yet. I will say this is also like a nice way, like if you have a really robust, that's always going to be my word that I use too much thanks to Taffy and his emotes. If you have a really robust Google Drive, this is a great way of having your links stored. And like I said, it's going to be like a nice little filing system, card catalog for all of this. Because I could actually go through and just link things constantly. In the description, I can put in, or in this activity, things that I turn into links will turn into links. I can attach things here if I wanted to. I can attach either a link or I can attach from my computer. So I'm going to take something from my file. So I've got in locos information here, which, you know, it doesn't make sense for this one. So we will click in there. We'll remove loco. We will also delete the comment that was going, which it'll show you too, like, Aaron, you see, yes, it's me, deleted the loco.jpg attachment from this card. So it'll let you know when these things happen. If we wanted to use this for guest headshots, as you can see, I have both Hunter and Loco in here for guest headshots, and there was no cover image. I can actually choose to have these as a cover or not as a cover. So sometimes you really don't need to have cover images. It's going to automatically put them as your cover images. And so sometimes you'll just want to like be like, nah, we've got this. We don't need to have that there, because as you can see, these images do sometimes take up a lot of space depending on the side. But they're not too horrible. When I made these covers myself, I believe these are 400 by 150 images. So just a nice long rectangle, pretty easy to do. And so, yeah, as we found out, there's not really super simple reporting in Trello. So that's kind of a hard thing to do, but you will be able to at least see visually what's going on with these due dates as well. So if you have a lot that are in red, that means that people are either not actually going through and completing their task and marking them as completed, or they're just not being done. So some example boards that we'll go to really quickly as well. This is one that McLaffy Taffy created. This is not one that I made for him. He's replacing all 50 of his emotes, and so he has his older emotes here that are ones that he needs to go through and change, different references for those, and so robust. So he has his description here: a mustached man, or mustached mascot, lifting weights, looking beefy, robust of strength, 1920s strong dude. And so this is a nice way of kind of like having this. He's got his image that he wants to have for the reference there. When any of these go through to the other one, so he's got the emotes, line work, notes approved, color work submitted for final approval, approved, and then another one is for paid. We can see here, like, let's look at SIP. So he submitted this. He wants it to look like Loco's SIP. So we can see here, this is what we want it to look like. The reference, our artist submitted some line samples to say, what do you like on this? He's able to say, here's my thoughts. Let's flip it. Let's look at these things. Thermal added in his color ones. And so it's just a nice way of saying, like, here you go. Here's everything you need. And it's finally done and approved. And then we can see, all of these. And once they're paid, they're moved here. So this is a nice way of, like, if you're going to work with an emote artist, this is a super awesome way to communicate and actually see step by step where things are. So if Hug actually wasn't done, if it was just waiting on proof, which I will move all this stuff back, Taffy, I promise, we could see where it would go through each step of the process. Right now, everything's kind of moved forward. Messing with my streamer's board. But he was really proud of that. He wanted to show me, like, this is a board he built himself. We're also going to show off in my team boards, StreamerSquare one, our super secret merch team really quick. So super secret stuff. We won't stay there super long. This is one where we have things for our shipping logistics, t-shirts, merchant pins, packaging. So this is one that's more of just, these are lists. This isn't a process of going from, we're looking at planning to do this. This is what's in progress and this is what's done. This is more of a pin board, so we make sure we don't lose things that we want to work with and or work on. And as you can see who's here. Wes isn't in here. So we're going to make Wes an admin. Change permissions. Wes is not an administrator. It's that simple. If I want to remove him, change permissions, and I can remove Wes's permissions as well. And so things like that are super easy to do. Another one that I'm going to have you guys look at really quickly is one of my older boards. As you'll see, there's things that are super behind schedule. This is what I use for my personal blog. So if you're someone who is doing YouTube videos or written documents and stuff, you can have, again, your info and assets. I like to have things like I know what my fonts are, which if you type in, let's say we're going to do the color. If you do the hex code for any color, it'll actually show you what it is. So 6B, 6B, 6B. And it shows us that is a nice gray color. So this is a great way of like making sure you do not lose any of these assets that you need for your shows, which if you're working with a graphic designer and whatnot, having these things, having your fonts saved on here, that's just a nice way of, again, file saving, file storage, making sure people know where they are. Because you could also have this stuff in your Google Drive, but it's sometimes a lot easier. Instead of digging through your drive to figure out where this is stored, you can just go straight to the Trello. I know exactly it's going to be in info and assets. I can pull things out. Post ideas. When I'm working on it, it goes into drafts. When it's finally published, it goes to published. If I can't publish it, it goes to postponed. One of the ones you'll see a lot in Kanban boards is blocked. Blocked is anything that has something impeding its process forward. So maybe it's relying on another task that's not done yet. Be careful with, or it's something that maybe you need guests for the shows. And so that's something where like you can kind of divvy it up any way you want. And yeah, you can, like Dylan saying now in chat, like he would have loved a personal Trello in college. Like this can really help you kind of understand, like, or you can kind of use it for any kind of goal planning. Like that's what I tried doing. I had things like meal ideas, things for grad school. So I would know, like, here is what each of my thesis thing was. I could put notes in there. I had a vision board. Again, like meal, yeah, different things that I wanted to do, goals for that year. So this is just, I don't know. I don't want to say that Trello is a simple tool, but it really is a easy to use tool that can give you more control over the organization of whatever you're doing, whatever goals you have, whatever projects you're working on. And if this is your stream team, this is something that can be super easily implemented that you and or your mods can access to kind of keep you going. For these stream ideas, maybe you have events that you're doing. And so you put the due date as the date that you're actually going to do the event. That way you can kind of see how things are going up to that event. You know that it's getting closer because that due date has turned yellow. And then when you finish it, you can put in a nice review in there. It's just a good tool to have for all of these. And again, like these ones, I can view their activity. So if they did different things, currently Wes is not part of the behind the stream scenes team, so I will add Wes as our team member. I will add Dylan as our team member. And then I can make any of them an admin. I can also remove them from the board if I need to. I can't leave this because I'm the only one left as an administrator. And so I have to say I can't become a normal user because we have to have at least one administrator in there. And the administrators are notated with this little double caret on their picture. And so I can see my activity, and it's a long list of things that I've been doing. So this is a fast way of saying what mods have done things, or what mods haven't done things. Have they just gone to view things? A nice thing with these, like if I wanted to comment on these, the show is going to be great. If I commented on it, I can add little reactions to it. When you use the stickers, like I talked about before, I don't necessarily like stickers, but they just live on top of cards. Okay. No worries about that. It's a good reminder for hydration, which I do apologize for my voice kind of cutting out a little bit. This is month something of pneumonia, and so working through it, but hydrate up. But yeah, stickers, you can get more stickers as you upgrade. Again, they just live randomly on cards. You can't just put them wherever. So here's a good one. Like if a card is open, I can't drag the sticker over to it. It has to be closed. So I'm gonna boop, sticker on Wes's face, sticker on Wes, sticker on me. There we go. So it's pretty simple. Are there any questions? I know I kind of went through a lot of this really quickly. One good thing to remember is when you have finished things and things are done, maybe once a month go through, see the things that you've done, see what have been your successes for that month, and then archive it. If you want to see things that have been archived, you just go to your set. Again, this is your menu, more, archived items. And so I can actually see this. I can search through this. I can see if there's a list that's archived, because yes, you can take an entire list and you can archive it. Or I can archive all the cards in that one list. I can move it. One of the things you'll see here is also watch. So maybe you're someone who just wants to get the updates on what's happening for one of these boards or cards. You can just watch the whole thing. Are you able to see all the tasks specifically assigned to you? I want to say, if I went to my home stream, see I can see up next, these documents are due. There's highlights of things that have happened. That's just kind of everything. I'm not sure. Notifications. If there's things that are due currently, I'm not seeing a full list of these are my to-do items. So that's something else I guess it's lacking. Activity. Settings. I'm going to check. I'm guessing, I know it will email you, but yeah, I don't see a way of showing everything that is due to one person. That is a good question, though. Because yeah, this is just going to go straight to my. It'll show my cards by due date. All boards. So I can go to my cards due date, but these are just cards that are mine. They're not showing what's specifically assigned to me, which kind of a bummer when you think about it. I'm not seeing that, no. So again, Trello is a really great tool, but it does have room to grow. there are other things that you can do. Like, there are other things that I guess we wish would do better with. This is one of those things that if you are going to invest the money into a system, we personally like ClickUp quite a bit over here at StreamerSquare, and ClickUp's one of the ones that we've been using a lot of. And so it's kind of like our main go-to, and it does allow us to see things that are due. So if I go, I was doing right. Okay. So yeah, the only way to view all the cards that have been assigned to myself or added to myself is through that one page, which is going to be in my card. So I can just click on my image, go cards, and it shows all of it here. These are the only ones assigned to me currently. So let's go to a board that's not mine. Let's do one from the live show test is mine. Trying to find one that is easy to go to, but doesn't. We'll just go back to the secret merch one really quick. We'll go to the logo, add myself to it, and then now we'll go over to cards. And so cards with no due date. Now I can see that card as well. So I can see all of them. They're not all boards that I've created or that I'm in charge of. So I guess that's the easiest way to do that, is just going through your cards. Do we have any other questions regarding Trello and whatnot? We still have a little bit of time on the show that we can dig into some more things before getting into Dan's stream of thought this evening. So get into questions of things. It's kind of nice that Trello really doesn't need a super lengthy how-to. Like, it's fairly simple to just log into Trello.com, start building your boards and organizing it however you want. One of the nice things that you can do, like if I wanted to go back to our live show test board, again, like just being able to organize things, move them around however I wanted to. I could do that with any board that I'm on. We even had like a full one for behind the streams, planning things. You can see our former logo designs and stuff, overlays that we were looking into. And yeah, we had this link to our Google Drive, different ideas with it, which ones we were going to need, saving colors, just kind of playing around with things. As you can see, our show has progressed quite a bit since these early days. This was just a nice way of doing it as well, to say, hey, we have an idea for a show. Here's how we're going to pitch it. And so we had all of our info and assets on one, things that we still needed to do for the show, different ideas or notes that we needed to have, our episodes that we were doing, marketing stuff, and then things that were completed. But yeah, use ITS from Jira. I have not used Jira stuff, but I know of it, and I hear a lot of it just from working with other programmers and whatnot. But yes, as Dylan says, the flexibility with Trello is really kind of its key selling point. Besides the fact that it's free, I'm going to say this a lot. Trello is free to use, so you can get your mod team on there. I don't even have to have this as a team, because even though teams can have up to 10 boards, which that's one thing that we haven't talked about, is whether or not you want to have one main board to rule them all, or if you want to have different boards for different things. Maybe you're a streamer who has one of these kind of basic boards that shows stream information, documents for the mods, like having your giveaway documents linked here from your Google Drive, which I can attach. I can choose it from my computer, Trello, Google Drive, Dropbox, Box, or OneDrive. So there's a lot of options for how you can get things integrated in there and connected to be an attachment. And once you click on that link, it just goes boop, right over to that other site, which is really nice. So yeah, you can have one big board to rule all of them for your whole thing, and just kind of, this is where any of my basic stream information is. And then say you just became partnered and all of a sudden you had huge sub drops, like Twitch Gaming came through and was like, hi, here's 100 subs, haha, and now you have like 20 emotes spots you need to fill. This is a great way, like showing with Taffy's, how you can just have your work board. So maybe you have a full board for your mod team, but your mod team doesn't necessarily need to weigh in on your emote stuff, but they might just need to know what's happening. And so maybe they have view access to it and they can't comment. You can kind of change that in all of your settings. And again, if you pay for one of the higher tiers, you're going to be able to do so much more. I know just last year with using Trello, the Butler system was a lot different. It was a lot of things that were client-made APIs that got built into it. And if you were a free tier, you could only use one of those automated tools. If you were a paid subscription, then you could actually use more of the Butler tools. Now that it's changed a little bit, I'm really curious to see how Butler does a lot more. I'm just kind of sad that, you know, our board is a little too puny to do much. Although it can create rules currently, which is nice. So we can have anything from, the trigger can be we move the card changes, dates change, checklist things happen, card comments, or custom fields are completed. So there are a lot of cool things that you can do here. So when a card is added to, created to, emailed into, moved out of the board by me, by anyone except me, it will do whatever this rule is. That will cause it to do things. So when it does this, the action that it's going to then do is then to, we can have it move, add or remove, like labels, stickers. You can have it automatically add stickers to the card. Again, I am not pro Trello stickers. I think that they are kind of a goofy waste of space, but maybe you love stickers. I mean, who am I to talk? I apparently like IRL stickers. It's something that, yeah, if you want to have it do that, you can have it add a special link. You can have it remove a due date. You can have it change a lot of things. There's really cool things that you can have it do. Like you can have it add a certain member. You can have it add content. You can have it rename the card, which is really cool, or post a comment to it. So there are some cool rules and triggers that you can add to do automation for this, including Slack integration. If Slack is something that you also work with, sadly, it's not Discord because that's where most of us streamers live, but you know, it works fine. There is Jira integration as well. You could have it cascade things. We are not going to have it do any of these things. So I'll leave it that for now. Please, please, please feel free to continue asking questions here or in the Discord. If you want to play around with the template that I've made and kind of just see what this looks like, and see what it looks like to actually get into a Trello board, feel free to play with it, copy it, do whatever you want with it. You can request to be a member of it and play around. But yeah, if you have any other questions, shoot them now. Or we can also go to our Discord and ask us at any time. Again, Trello is one of the easiest ways to get around building a workflow structure and doing really top tier organization for your stream team. It's something that I think is really underrated. I think if more teams had a Trello board, they would be amazed at how easy things go, especially team meetings. You're not going to lose things like you could in your Google Drive or in a Discord channel, even if you pin things. Like if you are a streamer who has any kind of special events or your stream schedule changes with enough frequency, having some kind of planning tool like this is going to help. Event planning, charity planning, knowing what your giveaway products are going to be, knowing how you're going to give away each thing. So maybe you're doing St. Jude and you know that the rewards are going to be 3 different things. Like you're going to have a tier for incentives, you're going to have a tier for like the torture rewards, like I'm going to eat a lot of hot peppers, or I'm going to do something silly like take a pickle bath or something weird. Swimsuit pickle bath, nothing gross. Or you're going to have chat vote on like things to put into a smoothie based on donations. They can vote for things, and then you have to eat that smoothie later. Like all of that planning can happen in a Trello board. And all of that, you can have those nice little activity comments if you want your mod team to kind of weigh in but not lose that conversation, because we know how Discord conversations go. You can hop topics quickly, and no matter how hard you try to stay on topic, it's going to divert at some point, and then you're going to have to try to figure out, okay, well, what did we talk about then? Trello keeps it all in one place. It is perfect. So I think that is probably going to be it for our little mini workshop on Trello. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I've been Rini. I am the communications operations COO, behind the scenes, all this stuff of StreamerSquare. You will find me around here quite a bit. You can find me at Adorkably Rini, the name right down here. You can find me there on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram. I am around I'm on behind the scenes every so often. I'm one of the co-creators here and one of the co-hosts. Coming up next, we have Dan Stream of Thought. He is going to be telling you all about terms and agreements, like all of those nice little things in the contracts that you tend not to read and why you need to read them. So it's going to be a great, full, like educational tag earning stream. It's super awesome. You're going to want to stay tuned to that. Next week on Behind the Streams, we're hopefully going to be having some really cool discussions about political streaming and what it's like to mod for those hot topic political streams. So stay tuned next week for that. I've been Rini. I've been around here. I'm going to turn you guys over to the pretzel music now, and Danataj will be next. Thank you all. I'm going to awkwardly wave, but thank you. Thank you so much. Hydrate and be well. Take care, my friends, and I will see you later. Bye.